Hey, what's happening guys, MurderToys here. Today I'm doing a ZBrush tutorial. In fact, I'm doing the ZBrush tutorial that I wish I found when I first started out on ZBrush. I'm going to go over all the quick keys. We're not really going to get into any sculpting whatsoever because that's the problem. People think that they're going to sculpt straight away with ZBrush, and you have to know the quick keys like you would do in, say, Sony Vegas, After Effects, or in Cinema 4D. We all know the shortcut keys, and it makes our life a lot easier, and we need to know exactly what we're doing with ZBrush. A lot of the times when you look at tutorials, they just get way too confusing, so I'm going to put some picture diagrams down below that you can download so you can do this offline at your own time. So let's go straight over the basics. If you find that this is just too boring for you, then I'm sorry, that you're going to just have to cope with this, because this really is what you need to know at the start of ZBrush. You're not going to be doing any heads and sculptures and stuff like that straight away. So yep, let's go over to the overview. Now here we have the draw size. The draw size is your overall paint brush that you're actually going to use to sculpt onto the sphere, and the focal shift is basically the intensity of where the area is going to be. So obviously if I push this up a bit, it's going to be a lot more intense in the center, and it's going to have a much further drop off to it goes to the outer circle. Let's put this back to its default value. And the Z intensity is exactly what it says on the tin. Basically, the more you have it higher, the more the intensity is of the sculpture, whether if you're claying on top of the sculpture or you're inverting. It will give a very jagged edge if you actually put it up to 100, and I generally, a rule of thumb, always start at around about 14, because that will just give us a general area and not to go too harsh over to everything. And in terms of draw size, I always like to start at around about 25 or so, because normally when I'm doing sculptures, it's either a person or some eyes or a monster of some sort. Now you see right here that we've actually got 2 points of origin on the sculpture, and basically what this is called the origin of symmetry tool. Basically if you press the X button, it will go on and off. Now the reason why you would want it on is because it makes your life a lot easier in time wise if you're making a model to a deadline. Also it's invaluable, should I say, if we're making eyes. So straight away what we're going to learn is by holding the left mouse button, we're actually going to make these small bumps that look like eyes. There we go, and because we've got the origin, the symmetry tool on, it's basically making that exact same pattern for us. Now another little key that we're going to learn is the Control and Z button. The Control and Z button is your delete button, it's your step backwards button, it's an essential button that you need to learn. Now another button we're going to learn is obviously for eye sockets that you want them inverted. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to hold the left mouse button when we're going to start sculpting in, but in the meantime we're going to hold the Alt button. So my hand is on the Alt button and I'm just about to press the left mouse button on the mouse. No shit, Sherlock. So let's go straight into this. There we go. Now the best thing to do is honestly do yourself a favour guys. If you've got a desk, a very small desk, try and get your mouse somewhere completely different so you've got a free range to move your hand around. Same with guys on laptops. If you're a laptop, if you're actually trying to use your laptop mouse and pad, then God help you, you're going to need a nice little mouse, especially one with a little rotator in the middle. It will make yourself a hell of a lot easier your life. Now that we've done this, we can see that we've got some jagged edge around the eyes. Now again, we're going to learn a brand new tool. It's called the Smooth tool. Now when we press the Shift button, we've got this blue cursor that's going around the eyeballs. Now straight away we can see that it changes if you look up here when we hold the Shift button and turn it off. Now at the moment the Z intensity is at 100. That's way too high by anyone's standards. So I always like to start off at around about 20 to 14 is a good spot, because it will just basically, what it does, it smooths it like you would be patting down a sculpture in real life or a clay model. This will actually just get rid of those small jagged edges. Basically if you put the intensity way too much, it has this tendency to bring everything up and rise to the middle, and it's not really a great look at all with this. Now that we've done our 2 eyeballs, what we've learned today, just to go over all the facts with you, is that we've learned that by pressing the Alt key and the left mouse button, we invert into the model, and just by pressing the left mouse button, we do the complete opposite and we're sculpting on to the model. We also have learned today that by pressing Control and Z, we are moving back and deleting what we've done on the sculpture. And also by pressing the X button on and off, we are getting rid of the symmetry tool. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. This is the very basic fundamental whole thing of ZBrush. Hope you're going to enjoy these tutorial guys for the next part, where we're going to learn how to mask sculpture and also how to do the proper camera rotations. So now that we've come to the end of the video, just here to remind you about that I am very active now on Facebook and Twitter. You can ask any of your editing questions, and I'll probably get back to you in the next day or two. Also to remind you about this mystical backup channel that is so important to Murder Toys Media, the Murder Toys HD page. Sometimes it's going to have exclusive content on, but more than anything it's just there just in case all hell breaks loose on this channel. Thanks a lot for watching, take it easy, till next time.